So, you're thinking about moving to the Greater Lansing, Michigan area, and you've heard a lot about East Lansing, Okemos, DeWitt, Grand Ledge, Holt. You've heard about those cities and you're wondering, are there any other cities out there that I should maybe be considering? Well, in this video, I'm going to be featuring several cities throughout the Greater Lansing, Michigan area that I have not yet covered on this channel. And be sure to stay tuned until the end because the very last city is a lake lover's paradise. So we're gonna get started with this next episode of Lansing, Michigan Life right now. Hey everybody, Troy Seifert here with the Capital Area Real Estate Specialist in the Greater Lansing, Michigan area. I'm a top producing realtor in the Greater Lansing area, and I get phone calls all the time from people who are just like you watching this channel, people from all over the country, even all over the world, people who want to find out more about real estate in the Lansing area. So if that is you, I would encourage you to contact me in the description below, call me, text me, email me, or schedule a Zoom call with me. I would love to be able to speak with you one-on-one and kind of find out what your real estate goals are, whether that's in 9 days, 90 days, or 9 months from now. Also, if you already haven't, if you could like, subscribe, or ring the bell for notifications so that you could be the first to be notified when a new episode of Lansing, Michigan Life goes live, that would be great because we have new episodes going live once or twice a week. So be sure to be on our subscriber list or ring the bell for notifications. All right, so if you've been watching my videos, I do have a video on the top 5 suburbs in Lansing. I talk about each and every one of them, which is DeWitt, Grand Ledge, East Lansing, Okemos, and Holt. I talk about all 5 of those suburbs. Then I have featured Hazlitt in a video. So that's gonna be a city that's not gonna be featured on here. I'm gonna be talking about cities that so far I have not covered, but hey, you might wanna look into. Now, before I get into my list, there's a list of 8 cities or 7 cities, and I do have some honorable mentions of ones that might not be as large as some of these cities and why they might not have made the list. But before I get into all of these cities, one thing I just wanna let you know, the reason why these cities did not make the list is not necessarily because of size, but because of location, of where they are in proximity to Lansing. When I go through this list, you're gonna see that some of these cities are almost equidistant between Lansing and another city. So when I feature these cities, you could be looking maybe in Grand Rapids, or you could be looking in Mount Pleasant. You could be looking at some additional place other than Lansing, and that's okay. But these cities can be considered suburbs of Lansing. Okay, so I just wanted to kind of let you all know that. I covered the top 5 suburbs. I've tried to cover some other cities in my videos, but these are the ones that haven't quite had a lot featured, and I want to be sure to feature them so that they could be ones that maybe you could consider. So, all right, the first city that I want to talk about is Portland, Michigan. The one thing that you have to know about Portland is they're known as the city of 2 rivers, okay? The Grand River and Looking Glass River, which are 2 rivers in the Greater Lansing area, they join right here. And I think I mentioned this before about Portland, but there are several homes that might be in a floodplain just due to the elevation of how they built homes and its proximity to the river. So that's just something for you to be aware of. Portland is located on the west side of Lansing. It's further west than Grand Ledge. Grand Ledge is a major suburb I have talked about that's about 10 or 15 minutes away from Lansing. Portland is even further west, and it's about, I would say a good 25 minutes if you want to get to downtown, or if you want to work at a hospital, or if you have, you want to work for one of the major insurance companies in Lansing, okay? So it's gonna be 20 to 25 minutes depending on where you're at in the Lansing area. But Portland's a great place. It has a great school system. Population of the area is around 4,000 people, and there's about a little over 2,000 students within the entire school system. So your class is gonna be less than 200 per class if you were to be in the Portland school system, although you do have school of choice, and you can look at other school systems as well too. You wanna know more about school of choice? Look at my other video about what to know about school systems. But anyway, getting back to Portland, it's also a place that they have a lot of fast food places. They have a grocery store, but if you wanna get to any of the shopping, to any of the destinations in Lansing, that's gonna be the closest you're gonna be. Again, that's gonna be about 20 to 25 minutes away from all of that. On the flip side, you do have Grand Rapids, which is a good strong, I would say about 30 to 35 minutes away from Portland. But if you're looking for a happy medium between 2 major cities, Portland is a great place to be. So definitely a place for you to consider if you're not sold on any of the suburbs I told you about in Lansing. All right, second place. The second place is St. John's. St. John's, Michigan. So St. John's is actually in the northern part of Lansing. So when I featured the northern part of Lansing, DeWitt would be the main suburb that made one of my top 5 suburbs, right? Well, about another 15 minutes north is St. John's. But because St. John's has great highway access, which is the 127 expressway where you can drive 70 to 75 miles an hour on it, you can get to Lansing pretty quick. You can get there usually within 25 to 30 minutes. So St. John's is a great suburb for Lansing. It's also a great suburb for Mount Pleasant, and that's where Central Michigan University is. There's also Alma College that's up there, and that's in Alma, Michigan. So if you're looking to maybe not be so close to Lansing, but be close to those colleges, St. John's might be a place for you to consider as well. St. John's has about 7,700 people in the city of St. John's. In their school system, it's a rather large school system, 2,600 students. It's gonna be one of the larger school systems I talk about here, and it's even larger than some of the school systems that I featured in other videos, all right? So you have about 2,600 students, so you do have over 200 students in each class. In terms of places that are within the area, they have fast food places, they have an Applebee's, they have a Walmart. So that's about it. That's what they've got. So if you want to get, again, close to the shopping and all the entertainment, Lansing's going to be probably your closest go-to, and that's going to be a good 25 to 30 minute drive for you. Next place I want to talk about is Mason, Michigan. So Mason is south of Holt. So Holt is south of Lansing, and then Mason is even further south of Holt. It's probably a good 10 or 15 minutes south of Holt. So Mason is a good happy medium between Lansing and then a city called Jackson, Michigan, which is further south. Again, a great in-between city, but Mason is where the Ingham County Courthouse is. They have a beautiful historic downtown, a place that has a lot of antiques there, some nice little shops that are within Mason. Mason has about a little over 8,000 people, and the school system, this is a pretty large school system as well, 3,200 students. Again, it didn't make my top 5 suburbs list because it is far away from a lot of Lansing stuff, but I have talked to some people who are like, hey, I'm okay with a 30 to 40 minute commute, because maybe you came from a larger city like Dallas, Texas, or like Los Angeles, and you're like, I had to commute an hour, a half hour, that's great. So Mason might be a place that you might want to consider. So people, it's over 8,000 people, and then 3,200 students in the school system. So you have about 250 kids that are going to be in each and every class. So again, a little further out, but definitely a place to consider when you're moving to the Lansing area. The next place that I want to feature is Williamston, Michigan. So Williamston is further east of Okemos. So you got Lansing right here, then you got Okemos, then Williamston's a little further east. Again, about another 10 to 15 minutes east of Okemos. So Williamston is a great in-between place if you're looking to commute to Lansing. Yes, I mean, everything's about 25 minutes from a lot of the major job industries in Lansing. But if you're also looking to places like Howell, Michigan, Howell is a great place. It's not like a huge city, but it does have some nice stores and also has an outlet center there. That's gonna be roughly about 15 minutes away from there. But I have heard of people from Brighton, Michigan. So if you're looking into Brighton, that is about a half hour away from Williamston. And I have had listings where I've listed a home in Williamston, and I have had out of area agents within our association showing my property in Williamston. So Brighton is kind of becoming a larger city. And so people commute to Brighton, might live in Williamston. So again, further out, that's the only reason why. It's not because it's a worse city, but Williamston has a really charming downtown. It reminds me a lot of Grand Ledge's downtown. They have a movie theater in there, the Sun Theater there. They have some shops, they have some dining options, they have a grocery store in the downtown. The one thing about Williamston though is they really don't have a lot of the fast food options. So if you're going to want to go to the restaurants and the entertainment, you're gonna go to Okemos, and that's gonna be a good 10 to 15 minutes away. The amount of people that live there, it's about 3,800 people that live in Williamston, and the school is roughly 1,850, so 1,850 students in the Williamston school system. So pretty small class size, about 150 students per class. But they do have highly rated schools in Williamston. If you look at niche.com, Williamston is usually consistently in the top 5 school systems within the Greater Lansing area. And if you see my video about top 5 school systems, Williamston should be in that top 5. Number 5, we are getting to Charlotte, not Charlotte, Charlotte. So Charlotte, it's more the southwest part. Like if you look at my map tours, Lansing has tons of interstates. Like you can get to places extremely fast. If it's within a 20 to 30 mile radius, you can travel 60, 70, 75 miles an hour on some of these interstates. So if you're especially on the west side of Lansing here, they have I-69, I-96 that merge together. And then I-69 will take you even further south where you're traveling 70 miles an hour. That takes you down to the city of Charlotte. And Charlotte's gonna be about 25 25 to 30 minutes away from Lansing, but they have a great downtown and they have a great performing arts center that our city of Lansing likes to be able to use for the Lansing Symphony Orchestra. They have every fast food place. They have Meijer, they have Walmart. The population of the town, it's around 9,300 people and about 2,400 students are in the Charlotte School District. So roughly around 200 students in each class. Again, a little bit less than some of the major school systems in Lansing and a smaller population, but a lot of times, and I think I've said this before, I don't have the average sales price of all these areas, but I will tell you that these places, in my opinion, are less than Okemos and East Lansing and DeWitt, even Grand Ledge, as far as average home prices. The only one that might be kind of close to the average home prices of Okemos and East Lansing would be Williamston. Williamston usually averages in the high 300s, kind of because of the school system. It's a smaller community, and they do feature some extremely large homes in Williamston as well. They have neighborhoods, larger lots that are more beautiful custom homes. Some of them have like 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 square feet. So that's again why Williamston might be up there. But with home prices for the rest of these areas, the average home price is definitely less than some of the major suburbs that I've talked about. That was Charlotte. Now we're at Eaton Rapids, number 6. So if you looked at one of my videos about year-over-year statistics, Eaton Rapids topped the chart of all the areas within the Greater Lansing Association for appreciation. Went up double digits, like 16, 17% year over year. Eaton Rapids is a little further east of Charlotte, but it's still far south as well. It's like more, again, southwest. And they have a nice little charming restaurant called the English Inn that a lot of people go for special occasions, but it's also more of a bed and breakfast type of inn as well that people just enjoy going for a weekend getaway. Eaton Rapids, again, about 25 to 30 minutes from Lansing. It has a historic downtown. A river runs right through that downtown as well. So Eaton Rapids does have a river going through it. It's about 5,200 people and then close to 2,000 students in the school system. So Eaton Rapids could definitely be a place that you would consider. As far as like fast food places and what they have to offer, there's not a lot there. Charlotte, place before, has every fast food place, Walmart, Meijer. Eaton Rapids doesn't have it. Now, before I get into my last place to feature, I do want to get some honorable mentions out there. I'm going to kind of gloss over these, but these are ones that I feel like, hey, for research, if you see it come across your search, it's definitely, they're definitely good places, but they're not at my top. And again, we have a lot of cities in Lansing. I mean, I'm not even featuring every single one in the Greater Lansing area, but some honorable mentions I want to mention are Bath, Michigan. That's a smaller community. It has a lake called Park Lake and probably about 100 students per class in their public schools. Another place would be Dimondale, Michigan. That's a smaller community that has access to the Grand River, and it also has a nice little quaint downtown that has a diner in it, has an ice cream place, just a very small quaint downtown. Dimondale does tend to use the Holt school system though, so they are a part of it, but their own little town as well. So Dimondale, very, very small, very quaint, but a cute little town. Another one is Perry, Michigan. That's gonna be a little bit northeast of Lansing, and it's gonna be about a good 20 to 25 minutes away. Bath, the first I mentioned, is probably about 15 minutes away from everything in Lansing. Perry's a little further out. It's about 25 minutes away. But the thing about Perry is that Perry also is halfway to Flint. So if you're looking to potentially move to Flint, it's about 20 to 25 minutes away from Flint as well. The other thing I will say about Perry too is that they have lower taxes. Bath does as well too. So some of these areas have lower tax millages than some of the major suburbs. The last one would be Potterville. Potterville is just north of Charlotte, so it's a little bit closer to Lansing than what Charlotte is. It's about 15 to 20 minutes away. Potterville, Michigan, the big thing that they have there is Country Mill, which is a great fall place to be able to go to that has apple picking. It's an orchard. They have fresh donuts. People love going to Country Mill in the fall. But other than that, Potterville doesn't really have a whole lot there. They have a McDonald's and a couple gas stations. That's about it in Potterville. And especially with like Perry has some fast food places that are very close to it. Again, I'm kind of lumping them all together. They're all very small areas. Don't have, probably 100 per class if you're looking at the school system. And the cost of living there might be a little bit less, but again, you're further out from everything. And real estate is all about location, right? So the last place I'm going to feature, I think I mentioned earlier, for the lake enthusiasts. This place is known as Laingsburg, Michigan. Now, I'm not ranking this as my #1 suburb out of all these. These are in no particular order. But Laingsburg, the reason why it's there for the lake enthusiasts is because they have 3 all sports lakes in their area. They have Scenic Lake, they have Lake Victoria, and they have Round Lake. However, the population isn't very large. For Laingsburg, it's about 1,400 people that live in Laingsburg. It is very spread out for the schools, like who would live there, because there could be people that live in a different area but still go to Laingsburg schools. So the school system is about 1,100 students, so a little bit less than 100 people per class in Laingsburg. The thing I'll tell you about Laingsburg, it's great that you have these lakes, but there's a subway, couple gas stations, that's about it. So you're gonna have to travel a good 15, 20 minutes to get to even a fast food place, or to, if you wanna get to the shopping in Lansing, I mean, it's gonna take a good 25 to 30 minutes. But Laingsburg, if you're a lake lover, that's definitely the place to be. It's a great place to go to during the summer, just so you can have some beach access somewhere. Because the other major all sports lake in our area is Lake Lansing, and that is located in Hazlitt. But if you're wanting to be a little bit further away from a larger city, per se, Hazlitt isn't a huge city, but if you wanna be a little bit further out there, Scenic Lake, Lake Victoria, Round Lake are great places to go to as well. Well, I appreciate you watching this informative video about all the different cities that there are in Lansing. What I would encourage you to do, if you haven't already done so, please like this video. If you want to comment and interact with this video and say, hey Troy, if you could do like a vlog tour on one of these cities, it would be great. If you could comment and kind of interact with that, that would be super, because that gives me some feedback as to what you guys will be watching, because I don't want to do all these vlog tours and then nobody potentially watches them. So if there's a popular one that you want to be able to see a little bit more of the area, the neighborhoods, let me know. I'd be more than happy to show you around that area. And then also, subscribe or ring the bell for notifications so that you can be notified when a new episode goes live. Hopefully knowing all that info will be beneficial to you, and that this channel is a huge benefit to you. Also, if you're seeing these areas and you're like, I've got more questions on them, please reach out to me. Call me, text me, email me, schedule a Zoom with me. All my info is in the description below, and I would love to talk with you. So until next time, everybody, thanks again for watching, and make it a great day.